My name is Taylor Ryan. My title is kind of interesting. I am the CEO of Clint Marketing and also the founder and CEO of Architecture Quote. Today I get to speak on something that I actually feel really passionate about. It's managing teams. It's being the boss or the manager that I never had. So I want to show people how to essentially grow a large team and manage people in the way that they want to be managed, and also find metrics for success and scalability. I had seen it last year and I was fascinated where it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know there was a social media conference in Copenhagen. So in earnest, I really wanted to get out in front of people because it's kind of my jam. I've always been super engaged in these different channels, so I thought I could come here and provide some value, and that's kind of how I felt my way through the process, and eventually, I got to be a speaker. The first one is really simple. It's setting expectations from the standpoint of the marketing manager and somebody that's managing the entire team for the leadership. So it's setting expectations up front. So basically, it's going to take 6 months if you're starting from zero to build a foundation, and another 6 months to scale. So that's number one. Number two, I'd say give people the path of least resistance. So if you have somebody that's super passionate about design and wants to do more creativity, give them projects that are leaning in that direction. I don't need them to be a writer. I need them to follow whatever path they've already kind of set in their head. And then the last one is learning lessons. So every week I take my team aside, we sit down, and I go over a new technique, a new tactic. And that means the social media manager, the content creator, the writer, the front-end developer, they're all there learning the same things. Everybody needs to be competent in a little bit of everything, and everybody grows all together at once. I'm one of those characters that maybe doesn't focus too heavily on diversity, and I think in this day and age, it's consistently being pushed in a lot of different directions. And the reality is, I think we need to focus on competencies in the form of high quality, speed, and do you get along with people? Hire for the right person, hire for the right characteristics. Don't hire for meeting certain benchmarks. So in terms of the networks and places that I see a lot of success happening in the immediate, Facebook groups is consistently getting more engagement across any platform that I've seen in terms of regular conversations between people and actually having that meaningful engagement happen on a regular basis. It's also Slack groups. I've been saying it for years that a lot of the really core learning stuff comes out of the experts that are like, hey, I did this. Does anybody have any thoughts on how this could be better? That type of conversation, it's not really happening at scale in Facebook groups, but it definitely happens in Slack groups. And the last one is Reddit. I think people are sleeping on Reddit just because it's kind of been that, hey, this is where all the memes kind of start. But no, there's really good learnings in these different Reddit groups where you have people, again, that are super passionate. On their time off, they're writing stuff and trying to find answers and also collaborate with people. It's fascinating, and I think it takes kind of a different turn than what the traditional sense of learning has always been. I think the number one trend in terms of what's happening on social media and what can be done in 2020 is probably going to be aggregating enough information across your competitors, publishers, and people that are actually getting the reach that you want, and then morphing some of the content to reach your audience and continue to scale. So not stealing, not copying, but people are going to start finding these little nuggets of engagement across all kinds of different industries and saying, that works there, I want it to work for me too. What I see coming down the pike in terms of really great digital marketing trends, one is generating content using AI. I think a lot of marketers are very weary of what that looks like. But the reality is, in terms of generating enough stuff to keep people engaged, you have to look at new and interesting sources of this content. And I've demonstrated over a number of different presentations why AI will definitely start affecting marketing teams in the very immediate future, 2020.